Okay, we just finished off Backlash. We gotten 4 months out of this, so let's continue things on. We got Judgment Day happening here. So yeah, not a lot of changes here either. Kurt Angle teaming up with Edge and Christian to take on Rikishi and Too Cool. So we got Team EC, Edge, Christian, and Kurt. Yeah, so and Kurt pins Scotty just because I wanted to do that. European title, Eddie Guerrero with Chyna taking on Perry Saturn and Perry Saturn's new valet, Terri. So we're going to have a little bit of rivalry between the girls here. That's probably what initiates this thing, because we're going to do the breakup. We're kind of in the middle of this breaking up of the Radicals. Eddie's sort of doing his own thing. Chris Benoit's doing his own. He's got his rivalry with Jericho going on. Dean Malenko's got his thing going on. But yeah. Alright, so Eddie Guerrero and Perry Saturn. Eddie Guerrero manages to get the win. Yeah, then we got the Intercontinental title match, which is a submission match. Yeah, I haven't put down who won here, so I'm just going to put in Chris Benoit wins. Same way. X-Pac and Road Dogg versus the Dudley Boys in a tables match, because the table thing's probably getting over like a house on fire, like it was here in the real world. So, but X-Pac manages to put Bubba through a table, and it's like, Jesus Christ, that's unheard of. Bubba is the one that's famous for doing that. All right. Thus we move on. WWF title Iron Man match, special guest referee Shawn Micheals. Same thing happens. Rock's got the belt. Triple H wants it. This is his last time. This is gonna happen. Last time, because I'm like, freaking hell. So get this Rock Triple H thing. Same finish. Taker comes out, ends up accidentally screwing Rock out of the belt. Alright. So, I'm going to start laying things out here. Because now we come to the King of the Ring. And I have kind of changed things up here a bit. Because I changed to the King of the Ring, well, kind of who the King of the Ring was going to be, I think. Yeah. Or how the King of the Ring sort of comes out, because, yeah, that's what I'm going to do here. Alright. So, bet you're wondering. Alright. First match out, Chris Benoit versus Rikishi. Benoit wins, despite the fact that he cheated to win. It's kind of a little bit of a payback for the fact that Rikishi is now the Intercontinental Champion. Same sort of thing happened. Venis versus Eddie Guerrero. Eddie wins. Crash versus Buchannan. Crash wins. Chris Jericho versus Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle wins. Then we continue on. We've got the tag team title situation. Here we go. Still holding on to the belts of those terrible cheaters, Edge and Christian. Edge manages to pin Grandmaster Sexa, because I was sick and tired of Scotty taking all the pins. Yeah, so that happens. Let's just put this in here. I've got to put something in here. Oh, stop it. It's not there. Chris Benoit versus Eddie Guerrero. I changed how things happened, but Eddie manages to sneak in a victory here. I haven't put Chyna there, but we can have her come out and sort of aid with a distraction or something. Keep it simple is what I always say. So Eddie manages to sneak in the win. Crash versus Kurt Angle. Fuck, that's not going to happen. Kurt wins. Street fight. I changed things up here. I just did a couple of things here. X-Pac and Road Dogg with Tori take on the Dudley boys and Bubba Ray and Devon. So instead of having a tables match, tables can still break in this. I'm not a big fan of. I was kind of a fan of that match, but there was something missing about it. Like they just had a table match, and just adding the fact that the X-Pac and Road Dogg and Tori was kind of forcing the guys into a dumpster. That wasn't cool in my opinion, and I like this idea better. So Bubba Ray wins by pinning X-Pac. After the match, he takes Tori, puts it through the table. Thus, we can have the injury angle that we have to do now because of the real life injury of Tori. So Tori was still champion, so she ends up having to forfeit the belt, and we're going to cover how that gets resolved on the next show, the next pay-per-view. I mean, King of the Ring final, Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle. Kurt wins. So instead of Rikishi seemed pissed that he was gonna have to wrestle like 3 matches that night, so I changed it for him. And plus, we got 2 great athletes anyway, in Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero going through that. And Eddie was like supremely over. Kurt was over as a heel, so it's just as good thing anyway. So yeah, now we got the 6-man for the WWF title. Triple H versus Triple H, Shane McMahon, and Vince McMahon versus The Rock, Undertaker, and Kane. The Rock wins. Thus, we move on to Fully Loaded. So after Fully Loaded, Mick Foley is going to be taking over as commissioner. So that's going to happen. Okay. The Hardy Boys and Lita versus TNA and Trish Stratus. Lita pins Trish Stratus in the opening match. Women's title battle royal. Now, you're probably wondering how Trish and Lita got. They mutually screwed each other from getting into this match. Okay? So we got the Cat, we got Terri, we got Ivory, we got Jacqueline, and the surprise appearance of Stephanie McMahon. Alright, the way this goes down, Ivory is there, and Kat and Terri are going at each other. They've got their own little rivalry going on still. They hate each other. They sort of try to eliminate one another, but Ivory comes in, throws them overboard. Ivory and Jacqueline sort of are fighting each other as well now, and Stephanie's like in the corner trying to not get eliminated, but she sneaks up behind the two of them and eliminates both of them as well. So yeah, that's how Stephanie wins the belt at Fully Loaded. Yeah, we can do some we could do some skits like during the week leading up to this match. And she's like, "How did I get into this?" We can set the whole leader thing up with this too. We can have the reason Lita is not in the match is because Stephanie managed to pin her because she got some help from Trish Stratus. So we can do that angle. So that would set things up as well. And you can do some things like Triple H showing her moves, X-Pac and Road Dogg helping out, showing her moves as well. European title, Eddie Guerrero and Perry Saturn versus Taz and Al Snow. I don't know why Al Snow is one word. Good thing I love pre-reading this beforehand, so you can see me doing stuff here. So Perry Saturn wins by by pinning. I should write in there, pinning Al Snow. But Taz is has a dominating performance in the match. he doesn't get pinned, but stuff happens, and Taz is a suplex machine. He's kicking ass in this. So we've got the APA taking on Edge and Christian. Edge pins Faarooq. Same sort of deal as what happened. I like the fact that they were trying to not defend their belts, but yeah. Another thing here. So we're gonna do with the Taz heel turn. All right. So Taz sort of at this point in time was he'd been hurt. He'd come back and he was like just randomly beating people up, randomly taking things out. So instead of doing that, I know they were doing the protection angle, but I actually prefer like the idea of like Taz. It was sort of the thug, but he wasn't doing it. I prefer to think of him like sort of instead of getting paid to do it like the APA. He's sort of like he's got favors. He prefers to deal in favors. Is like sometimes like he does stuff for the Helmsleys and all that, but he does the things for them because they can do him favors in return. Kind of like the Godfather angle. That thing is here. So the reason for this is Trish is seen talking to Taz before. Before the match, Trish is talking to Taz before this, and so I like the idea of Trish managing Val as well. So he does this. He's does this, and as it said, following on Raw, he manages to curry favor with them and uses Val to win a match or something. Yeah, and then we come to our triple main event. So Val manages to escape, and like Rikishi does the Superfly thing, but still manages to lose, which makes no sense. But okay, Undertaker versus Kurt Angle. Undertaker wins, but thing is, yeah, he wasn't quite ready to beat the Undertaker yet, but he comes back anyway. Triple H, yeah. I think this match here did more for Chris than like the Undertaker Kurt Angle match did for Kurt Angle. Chris Jericho manages to win barely, and then we do the Rock Chris Benoit thing. I like the way that was handled mostly. So the Rock wins. We don't need to do that stupid false finish thing with it. No need to do that. Why was that done? Why was Benoit announced as the winner? Only to, unless you're in Canada, there's no point in doing that shit like that. Or Montreal specifically. Okay, so we've got that. So let's do SummerSlam and we'll finish off. We'll finish off after this. All right, so. After all this shit, Right to Censor gets formed. Pretty much the same way as it did. So we start things off with a 6-man tag. And who's normally in a 6-man tag? Rikishi and Too Cool. So most of the work is done by we do the Godfather thing. That was pretty cool the way that was handled. So we'll do that. Same way. We have the match, and Steven does get the pin by super kicking Scotty while he's doing the friggin' worm. I like the worm. It's pretty cool. So it got over. So why be pissed off about it? I know it looks stupid, but so does the people's elbow. So yeah. Anyway. So yeah, and then we go do the Road Dogg X-Pac thing. Match. That was pretty well handled. A lot of the build up for this show was pretty well done, I must say. So this is another one where I'm not going to change too much. X-Pac wins after the low blow and the X Factor. So why change that? This is where I make a significant change. originally it was because I already did the Chyna, Kane versus Tori and X-Pac thing. I don't want to do the same thing here, so instead we do it's Chyna versus Val versus Eddie Guerrero versus Taz. He uses this is also how Taz he was interfering in the other match. He sort of gets done in here. He does a favour for Mick Foley. Not a hit or anything, but he has to do something, and maybe it's simply he's got to stop talking, and you're in the match, something like that. Like he has to win a match or something. Foley sort of gives him the match. So Chyna pins Val, but like again, Taz is in a main spot. He's not pinned, so therefore he's not hurt, and I like that. But Taz has been a pretty dominating guy, so he had to have been to even be put in this match. So he's done some stuff. Perry Saturn with Terri. Perry Saturn is now the European champion. I didn't cover that. Like that was a match. Oh yeah, no, I did cover that. Perry Saturn won that match at Fully Loaded. So he's defending the belt here against Crash Holly. He's got the cat in his corner. Okay, instead of it being like the cat and Terri in another random stink face match, I'd much rather this. Because they're not wrestlers. Neither one of them look like they want to be that way. But Crash doesn't win the match. Perry Saturn does. So I'll just put that in here. Perry Saturn wins by pinfall. Gotta learn how to spell by. Stupid computer. So yeah. So it goes over. He wins, like I like that. European title is like so far down the totem pole. I don't like to do much with it, but yeah. And you'll notice too, I haven't done a lot with the hardcore belt either. But this time I think Blackman had won it, so we can do that. I'm going to do some stuff with Blackman later on. So Blackman will have beaten Crash by this point, well and truly. But let's move on to other things. The first ever TLC match, like the way this was dealt with. You got the chair guys with Edge and Christian. You got the table guys with Bubba Ray and Devon. I don't know why they're not listed as Dudley Boys here. But okay, let's fix that up now. Stupid computer. Dudley Boys. The Dudley Boys. Anyway. So Christian grabs the belts. That retains them. That, again, nothing I would want to change in that thing. Number one contender for Unforgiven. 2 out of 3 falls. Chris Benoit versus Chris Jericho. This was very well handled. So yeah, that's well done. Undertaker versus Kane. Again, really cool idea. But not well handled on the execution there. They just have a random beatdown of one another. So yeah. Alright. So I guess here's where we start doing some interesting things. Alright? Alright. The Rock versus Kurt Angle versus Triple H. Alright. Now, it was around about this time that we were starting to see the seeds planted for the whole Kurt Angle, Stephanie thing. And, well, we ended up with that infamous kiss. Now, thing is, I kind of like lit a fire and then immediately put it out. Alright, so we're going to do something different here. The Rock sort of like gets painted into a corner here. with Kurt Angle and Triple H, even though he beat them like a month earlier in a number one contenders match. So Kurt is really kind of fallen for Stephanie, and once him and Triple H become mates, he feels like he can't go there anymore. And then they have that match or whatever where Triple H getting beaten down and all that. Kurt does go back. He does kiss Stephanie, but he comes in and he's like, during the show, he's like, Jesus, what have I done? He's trying to talk to Stephanie, and we don't know why yet. We think it's the reasons why, but eventually she gets knocked out again. For some reason, she's human punching bag for like 6 months here. Not literally, but like 4 months, I think it is, or 2 or 3 months. But yeah, so we end things off there, and I kind of want to get this wrapped up. The following weeks after SummerSlam, Kurt comes back and he says, "Look, dude, I'm weak. you got a beautiful wife, and we're just friends, you know." And they're very huggy with one another, but they never kiss again or anything like that. That's one thing. Like, thing is, I would clear this with Triple H, but I'd much rather it have been like having be able to go full throttle with it. I would have Kurt fall for her, but Stephanie is little like ends up getting repulsed by him or something. Because of the fact that she's just not that into him, and eventually, Edge and Christian eventually go, "Dude, she's married. She's not that into you. It's just let go." And eventually, probably, yeah, we even then eventually announce, hey, he's got a wife on the outside, and then maybe we can bring her in. I know that eventually happened. Alright, so this one was a bit longer, like slightly, so sorry about that. But we are going to develop some stuff. By this point too, Lita is going to be your women's champion. So that's one of the storylines falling out between SummerSlam and Unforgiven. So we'll come back. We'll be doing Unforgiven, No Mercy, Survivor Series, and Armageddon. So we'll finish things off with the next video.